I talked him into doing movie reviews with me. So I'm Mackenzie. This is my husband, Jonathan. And Today we're going to review the movies Moonfall and Dog with Channing Tatum.
We're with our dogs who are needy.
Yeah, our dogs are a little needy. So we have Regal Unlimited, which if you don't know is you pay, you can either pay a whole year's worth at a time, which is a little cheaper, or you can pay monthly, and it's $18 a month for Regal. Carmike does it as well. I don't remember their prices though. I think theirs might be like a little bit more expensive. But anyways, you can go to the movies as much as you want all month long. You get 10% off of concessions all the time, and your points just end up being more. So like each time you buy tickets, you get points. Each time you use the concessions, you get points. And so you eventually it doesn't take long, honestly, to get enough points to get a free popcorn and get a free drink. We do it pretty often because we have enough points to do so. So essentially after we go twice, it pays for itself, which as you can see, we're doing 2 movie reviews at a time. So we go pretty often, especially lately, now that the movies are finally getting back to fairly normal is what we feel like. We went to the theaters like all throughout the pandemic, just whenever they were open. We're in Eugene, Oregon, so they weren't always open. But when they were, we went, and oftentimes we'd be the only ones in there. It's kind of crazy. And now, when we went to see the Dog movie the other day, it was very full.
Yeah, Dog was packed. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. And then Spider-Man was when we saw that, but it was kind of surprising. Dog was probably as packed as Spider-Man was. Mm-hmm. So... yeah.
I guess to start with, a couple things we're going to do is we're going to give it a rating each. We're going to talk about it, some funny parts, good parts, whatever. So spoilers, don't continue watching if you don't want spoilers. And then since we both work in ministry, we're going to tell you if we think you could show this video to your church youth group, aka the teens, middle schoolers, aka what's the level of appropriateness, essentially, is what we're looking at. So, anyway, so we'll talk about that. So, first we're talking about Moonfall. Jonathan, what's your rating of Moonfall? Out of 10.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know how to... I feel like I'm not great at thinking how to numbers like a movie, but I guess if 5 is average, then that would mean 6 is good, even though it seems low. And I would say, I guess, 6 or 7.
Whoa!
Yeah, probably 6, but I mean, if 5's average, I would say it was definitely, it wasn't, it's hard to say because I'd have to think about other movies and like if I gave those a number for comparison, but yeah, it was good. It wasn't serious. It was pretty much what I expected, but it was a lot.
I, on the other hand, was not expecting much out of Moonfall. I was completely expecting to just think it was the dumbest movie ever, and I loved it. So I was going to say maybe 7 or even 8. It was... So just a little background. Jonathan wanted to be in film before he decided to do ministry and work at churches. And so, and even his first church job he was working as a church video editor and took videos for the church and all these things. So he loves movies and has he really thinks about a lot of the things that most of us don't think about with movies. Anyways, I was not expecting much. And one thing that we often talk about that maybe others may not agree with is we don't love always or very often CGI, like newer editing. Oftentimes, I think early 2000s movies are better just because it's obvious they put more work into making the backgrounds look real or making the editing look not completely fake, whereas CGI I feel like often looks fake. But Moonfall, I feel like it was obvious, like it's obvious the moon falling, like it's gonna look a little unrealistic but they made it look about as real as I think you could. The editing overall, like afterwards I was like, wow, that was actually really enjoyable, and like I believed it. And yeah, somehow Halle Berry she's just aged like fine wine. She just looks better than she did 20 years ago. Not fair, but she was great in it. And who was the other guy again?
Oh, Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, but what else has he been in?
I'm trying to think of famous stuff. He's in the Conjuring movies.
Ooh, I did not see those.
And the Insidious, and he's in Aquaman.
Oh, okay, there we go, yeah. But yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was just really, really good, a lot better than I expected. And for me, I think we both discussed before, we would take the youth group to see this or show it to them. I honestly can't even remember anything that would be super inappropriate for them. There's maybe a little bit of cussing. I don't even hardly remember though. Also, just a note, it's so hard to find movies without cussing at all anymore. Even in The Incredibles 2, it cussed twice. So it's really difficult, and I think in our minds, like, we do our best to find something super clean, and if we have to have a conversation before of, obviously there might be a word or two in here that we don't love. So
yeah, it was really exciting, and the effects were really, really well done. A lot better than a lot of movies. And yeah, I was surprised. I would say, the tone was what I expected. I wasn't expecting it to be serious, but the suspense and entertaining and excitement was really, really good. And probably, so I would say like entertainment and exciting and stuff. Definitely very, very good. But yeah, it's hard for me to give it like 8 when I try and think of other movies that I would give an 8. Mm-hmm. And then I think, I don't know. But anyways,
our friend,
it was really good.
Our friend Kirk that went to see it with us, he said at the end, he was like, it was all right. He kind of said, so this is a little bit of spoiler, I guess. He said the first half he was not into, but the second half he was, because the second half is a lot more action-packed, and the first half is a little bit more build up to the story of what's going on. But I loved that part, because I love seeing, like, the story, but I also love the action, too, so I don't know. And there's a really funny character in it, too, one of the main characters. He's just kind of like Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson's like super fan, and he ends up joining them and stuff in their fight against the moon falling. And it's precious, and the ending was really sweet.
Yeah, it had a really sweet ending.
Something to do with him, I won't completely say. So yeah, I would definitely go see it. It's a fun one. Yeah. And we both said, I bet a conspiracy theorist like made this movie. Like someone who is super into conspiracy theories, which I love conspiracy theories. So it was really interesting to watch that and see like, oh, they're definitely into conspiracy theories while watching this movie. So Anything else about Moonfall? I'm good. Okay, now, so Dog movie. This is starring Channing Tatum, which, welcome back, Channing Tatum, to movies. He took a brief hiatus for some reason. Now he's doing this and The Lost City, is that what it's called? Coming out on my birthday at the end of March. I'm so excited because I love him and Sandra Bullock. I almost just said Chandra's name. I have a friend named Chandra, and so I almost just went Chandra Bullock. Anyways, Dog. So we love dog movies, but obviously not. So spoilers are starting early on. We love not sad dog movies, and this is a not sad dog movie. You will cry happy tears, but it's not like Marley and Me, okay?
Yeah.
If you catch my drift. It's not like that. Man, honestly, 9 for me, I think. Maybe even 10. It was really good. Would not necessarily take the youth group to see it. There were younger kids when we were in there. I'm not sure if the parents regretted that or not, is what I'm saying. I would definitely look at some parent guides before you take your youngins. And we can talk more about that in a minute.
It's not as bad as a lot of movies nowadays, but it's still got stuff that would be
quite a bit of cussing and some kind of sexual references and drug references and stuff. So
it's I would probably say the same. 9. It was one of the best movies I feel like we've seen in a while. It was way better than I expected. I expected it to be like average dog movie, but it was really funny. It was hilarious. I told Mackenzie it felt like a breath of fresh air because there aren't a lot of movies that feel quite as I don't know. It feels like really, I guess, a lot of thought and effort went into it, and I don't know. It just feels enjoyable and not super bland, but it was really, really funny and really good.
Don't go, if you're gonna go to the bathroom, go somewhere in the middle of it. It's about an hour and 41 minutes long. Jonathan went to the bathroom at the worst time. It kind of seemed like there was gonna be a lot more, and he went to the bathroom and it was over. Like, he missed the very last scene, which is the best part. It was so sad.
Yeah, it seemed like it was at a scene where I kind of like guessed I can like make it back in time, but it was no, it was really,
he just straight up missed
they
it.
crammed in a lot at the end. It ended really fast because I walked in and it was,
but it was
like,
done
the
well.
very last shot was when I came back in, and I was like, how did it end? And they told me like a ton of stuff. So yeah.
So the overall gist of it is that there's this army dog, and one of Channing Tatum's buddies passed away, and it was his army dog. And so Channing is trying to get back into the army after a brain issue, and I guess a brain injury from the army, and he is given the duty to take this dog from Washington all the way to Arizona on a road trip. So this dog Disclaimer, this dog is a Belgian Malinois. If you don't know what a Belgian Malinois is, it looks like a skinny German Shepherd. They need a lot of training. So like, don't go get one if you're not trying to train it like crazy. This is one of those dogs that if you don't train it, it's going to be a bad dog and it's going to act out and it's not going to do well because like they trained it to be an army dog. Like that's how smart this dog is. So I've met one and it knew more tricks than any dog I've ever met. And you just need to be active with it all the time. So definitely, like go experience a Belgian Malinois and like look it up, look into the breed before you go and just randomly get one because you saw this movie. Okay, we love dogs, so we have to say stuff like that. We're really passionate about like getting a dog and keeping a dog, and we're really passionate about rescues personally. So anyways, so he has to take this dog who is very hyperactive and has a lot of PTSD from war. So she has a lot of triggers. He has to take it from Washington to Arizona. It's really funny because we live in Eugene, Oregon, and so we know what Oregon is like. And he, probably about 20 minutes of the whole movie, he spends time in Oregon, and
yeah, it's really funny.
Oh my gosh. Channing Tatum helped, you said, produce this movie?
He co-directed
it. And so someone that had to do with this movie has spent some time in Oregon because they essentially made fun of it. And like he went to a bar and was talking with girls and like everything they were saying was like and a couple of guys, very on point Oregon things they would say and very interesting. And then he went to the country part of Oregon and that was on point and like it was just hilarious.
Yeah,
so we were having a ball. So anyone that doesn't know anything about Oregon, if you see dog, there you go. That's what you need to know. And pray for us. It's a weird place. It's just a weird place. It starts with a sign that says keep Oregon weird. It is a weird place. We love it, but it's weird.
But not as weird as California.
Not as weird as California, but close. It's kind of funny. So we're originally from Tennessee. I'm wearing Tennessee today, and he's wearing Oregon. It's kind of funny. So yeah, it's just really funny. The dog and Channing Tatum, just like the dog rips up his car and gets in trouble, and they end up forming this amazing bond. And the sad part is, and if this is what the Army actually does, it makes me kind of mad. I'm really thankful for all that the Army does, but if they do this, it makes me mad. So he was charged to take the dog to the funeral of his buddy, and then he was told to take it to the local Army base, and they were just going to put her down because she has so many problems from PTSD from the war. And I was like, we both were like, that's not okay. And so Channing eventually was like, it's not okay either. I love this dog. And so he just, spoiler, he just drove off with it and ended up adopting it. And it was actually kind of a beautiful story. Like, there was a guy he met along the way, and he had a connection to him and his Army buddy somehow, and he ended up with the dog Lulu's brother, Belgian Malinois and he trained the dog, and he lived in California, and Channing ends up like moving close to be with him, and they join this like Army veteran support group, and like just a lot of like good things come at the end that you missed. And Channing ends up like reconnecting with his family, his ex-wife, I guess, and daughter, and like there's just like a lot of like beautiful stuff that comes at the end, and I think it just kind of shows. I think for any veteran watching, it would be really encouraging to see, like, just for any veteran struggling, because we see a lot of veterans around here that are really struggling, and I think once they're a veteran, they're done a disservice in a way. especially out here. But anyways, it's kind of cool to see like that he gets better and he works towards getting better. So yeah, go see these movies, go back to the movies, help keep the movies alive. And we'll do another one of these soon, or maybe just me, we'll see. What are we gonna see next? What's coming out? Uncharted, maybe? Uncharted?
I'm sure the new Batman movie.
Batman movie.
End up seeing.
Yeah, we will see that. I was not excited that they were making a new Batman. Christian Bale. That's my Batman, okay? But after seeing the commercials, I'm like really excited. I just was thinking Edward, that's not even his name, whatever his real name is, Edward, as Batman was weird. He's just forever Edward Cullen to me, so.
Yeah, I think I'm not really excited about that, but I think it'll be entertaining for sure. I think it'll be it looks like it'll be a pretty exciting movie, like yeah.
We definitely both don't love the choice for Albert. A little weird.
Yeah.
A little too young. Alfred.
Yeah, there's a lot of the cast
It's early.
that, well, I guess Alfred, and then
I love I don't know, he's just a little too young. I like kind of like old and frail Alfred. Old and frail but strong. Like before.
Yeah, it's also just weird that there's just so many different ones now.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different casts
for everything. They're just remaking everything. It's really annoying.
And then they're doing another. So there's Ben Affleck, and then I guess also Robert Pattinson, although probably Robert Pattinson. Well, I don't know. And then they're doing Michael Keaton again. And then there's the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. And so there's...
What do you mean they're doing Michael Keaton again?
Did you not... I thought we talked about that. The new Flash movie is gonna be...
Gonna show Michael Keaton as Batman?
It's gonna be like Spider-Man Far From Home. The very first Flash movie, and they're jumping right to the multiverse.
Y'all, if you didn't know...
This is the first Flash movie that has ever been made, and he's a huge hero, and he's finally gained his own movie, and they're jumping all the way to the multiverse, and so they're bringing Michael Keaton back, and he's supposedly gonna just stay.
Oh my gosh.
Like he's gonna be part of the DC movies again now.
He's too old now. That's so weird. But I do love Michael Keaton. Yeah. Real quick, last thing. Multiverse is happening like everywhere now. If you haven't heard, Blue's Clues is coming out with a movie, and they're doing like a multiverse Blue's Clues with all three of the guys that have been Steve. Love it, hate it. Like, I love it because obvious reasons. Like, I love my OG Steve, and even the second guy was all right. But like, don't everybody copy Spider-Man? Like, ugh. Whatever. We could go on and on, so we're gonna stop. Bye.
Yeah.